Yo, so check it, right? Everybody know about this already. Shit went viral. The Asian guy shoots the little kid in the arm. But let's backtrack. First, he chases the little boy, black boy, I said Asian, so I'm gonna say black, with a sledgehammer. A sledgehammer. He chased a little kid, a little boy, a little black boy with a sledgehammer. Out of the little boy's mouth, little boy said, I was too fast. He could get me, but they could catch me. Unbeknownst to the little boy, this motherfucker goes in his house. Little boy, he ran off to the neighbor yard. He trying to run from, I'm gonna get away from this crazy motherfucker. This Asian motherfucker shoots from inside his house out the window and shoots the little boy in the arm. He sniped him. The little boy didn't know that this man was going to get a gun. He probably should have had to understand that he was trying to do something crazy because he already chased him with a sledgehammer, but he didn't know that. It ain't like the guy came out of his house with the gun and, the little boy was aware of what was going to take place or whatever. No, he actually sniped him. Then it goes before a good old white judge, white lady, and we already know, the value of black lives and white eyes. You know what I mean? He only shot the little boy in the arm. Give him a $10,000 bond. He was mad. The little boy was on his property. However the fuck she looked at it. She gave him a $10,000 bond. Now, that means he could get out with $1,000. Right? Or the bail was what? $100,000, $10,000 bond? Or $10,000 bond, $1,000, you can pay $1,000 bail. I don't know how they do it out there, whatever. Fuck it. But for sniping somebody, not only that, a little kid, a little black kid, had that been white, and I hate when we have to say this. It's like the worst shit I have to say out of my mouth. Had that been a little white kid. Or maybe any other ethnicity other than, so-called African American, a descendant of the slaves here in America. It would have been an outrageous outcry. Yo, his pops was on TV like in shock, like, yo, how you get a $10,000 bond? He was actually in shock. You can see it in his expression. Like, yo, so his son's life was worth what? So this man could just go back on the street without a psychiatric evaluation, without a mental evaluation and nothing. He just sniped a little kid. Really? Crazy. This is where we at. This is where we come to. And I'm like, I got a 2-year-old son, 2.5-year-old son. So I'm like, yo, I gotta, I'm empathetic. So I put myself in those shoes. What would I have done? And of course, I'm gonna say I would have probably burnt that nigga house down. I'd have killed that nigga. Like, that's my sentiment. That's my feeling. That's what I'm saying right now. I would have killed that nigga, especially if they let him out and he had to come right back to the same house where he shot through the window and shot my son, and I'm like 2 houses away. Oh no. Anything that's, related to that property was gonna be dealt with in an extreme way. Listen, any child, anybody that snipes a child, he's gonna keep killing. He ain't finished yet. If they give him a slap on the wrist for this shit, oh, yeah, mark my words. He If he'd have killed that kid, he might have went on a killing spree. He might have came out with the shotgun and started killing everybody because he'd have bugged out. Once he didn't kill him, it probably woke him back up. Like, oh shit, damn, what the fuck I just did? Because the little kid kept running. Now he know he caught. He can't, can't react. But had that shit went a different way, man, who the fuck knows? But I'm just saying, man, except a little kid, man, this nigga sniped a little kid. First he chased him with a sledgehammer. Do you know you could do the fuck to a little kid with a sledgehammer? Do you know the damage? If you hit a little kid with a sledgehammer anywhere on his fucking body, you breaking something, shattering shit immediately. Everybody walked past construction sites and motherfuckers was using sledgehammers to break walls and shit like that down, my nigga. He chased a little kid with a sledgehammer, then went and shot the nigga from inside his house, sniped him. And what's crazy is like, Asians here and abroad, got this disposition towards, black people. Beats the fuck out of me. Why? Because this shit been before I was born. This shit was like Vietnam era when motherfuckers going to the Korean War and all that. They was fucking disrespectful and racist towards black people based off of what? American propaganda. You know what I'm saying? But then they come over here and they get amongst us and, you see black Asian girls or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, they try to look down on us or down on on people in general, a lot of Asians. For what? And see, I understand though, because in America, everybody gotta feel like they better than somebody. Especially when it comes to race and nationality and all that shit, it's a competition. They pit these things against each other. Because that's the only way in America to feel good about yourself is to be able to look at another race as something demeaning, something dehumanized and shit like that. This is why a man could just shoot a little kid, because he's in his mind, that little kid is subhuman. This is a fact. This is how he's looking at the situation. The little kid is subhuman. He's not, his life don't matter. He's like an animal. Shooting him is like me going out shooting a deer. There's no value to the life. And they wonder why, the outcry of Black Lives Matter. And I ain't saying that in no reference towards the organization, because I ain't got no ties to that shit, don't want no ties to that shit or nothing. I'm speaking about in the actual context of what Black Lives Matter actually means. You know what I mean? But yo, in society, anybody that has kids that, you let your child go outside and play in your front yard or play in your community, like, it might be a cul-de-sac or whatever the case may be, or on a block or outside in the projects or whatever. Hey, they don't think a motherfucker gonna snipe their kid through the window. Well, in America, yeah, it's a possibility, but, we identify these people as insane, sick people, sick, twisted, demented people. But we see that it's even more than that, because look at the cops. Look at the killings in our communities. You know what I'm saying? It's because black people have been dehumanized. And it started with the Constitution when they first said that black people was 3/5 of a man. Even though they made ratifications and all that shit, and amendments and all that shit to rectify that, but the mindset that's ingrained and inwoven in the fabric of America is that black people are less than, that our human, worth is not of value like any other human, ethnicity. And this is real. But y'all need to check yourself, man, especially when it comes to the children, man. Because anybody that can snipe a child in their community, somewhere where they live, fuck is you there for? Why the fuck do you live in that community? Why the fuck do you live in any community where you don't like kids and shit like that? That's what's in communities. People, children, teenagers. What the fuck else you think make up a community? When you buy a house somewhere and it's in a neighborhood or it's in a residential situation where there's other people around you, you're gonna see kids. Kids don't have the same understanding of boundaries that adults do. They gonna run. If they ball going to your yard, they gonna run and get their ball without a second thought, my nigga. Even if they parents told them you can't go to other people's yards, this, that, and the third, but if they in the moment, they playing and shit, and the ball going to the motherfucking yard, and they run, they chase the fucking ball. And being an adult, you should have the understanding of that. Like, what would make you get so fucking mad that you would come out and chase a fucking little child with a fucking sledgehammer? It's beyond that. It's deeper than that. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm gonna say, man. Peace to the world, man. Yo, protect your children, man. You know, I understand the law and vigilantism is a crime, but that ain't even vigilantism if a motherfucker snipe your child, man. That's not being a vigilante, my nigga. That shit is out the window. All that shit is out the window when a motherfucker do something like that to your child or anything to your child. Don't let these motherfuckers trick you into believing, you know what I mean, that they gonna do what they gotta do to get the justice for your child, but the first thing that happens is they slap the motherfucker on the wrist. Fuck out of here. That nigga house should have been burnt to the fucking ground.